Now, we've seen a lot of ups and downs in weather in Tulsa and in the metro area over the last decade and already over the last month, too. Our team coverage continues with Fox 23 certified meteorologist Mike Grogan and a look at how you can help researchers at the University of Oklahoma deal with the close-in metro effects of climate change.
James, Tulsa is no stranger to extreme heat and flooding, and now a study is being done to examine the hyperlocal impacts of climate change on these two weather events. The Southern Climate Impacts Planning Program, led by Dr. Lauren Mullenbach at OU, is looking for participants to describe their own experiences with heat and flooding in Tulsa over the next 3 weeks. If you are a Tulsa resident or frequent the city, you can use your phone to scan these QR codes to take the surveys and make your voice heard. Even more importantly, Dr. Mullenbach and her team are looking for those willing to be interviewed about heat and flooding in the city, especially if you have in-depth knowledge or experience with current mitigation efforts. Not only will you be compensated for your time, you will also help paint a better picture of where Tulsans are most vulnerable to heat and flooding today. Here's Dr. Mullenbach on why this study is so important.
So we know that climate change impacts things like extreme heat and flash flooding disproportionately impact certain groups of people who have been made vulnerable or marginalized in other ways by society. And so when we better understand how these groups of people are experiencing these extreme effects of climate change, then we're better able to help them and can put prioritized resources where they are most needed.
Tulsa is among several cities where local climate change impacts are being assessed. Once the surveys and interviews are processed, the report will be presented to city officials with recommendations on how best to protect us from two of the most deadly weather hazards projected to be made worse over time with more heat and moisture in the atmosphere. We'll have a link to those surveys and a way to contact Dr. Mullenbach on the web version of this story on fox23.com. And James, we do have quite a bit more heat and moisture in that forecast. I'll send it back to you with a closer look at that.
Yeah, it was really